Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live and welcome to our live broadcast from Leeds in England. What you see in your picture there is the Angel of Peace. It's the top of the Municipal War Memorial. And this is the space at which the annual Remembrance Sunday parades to remember thousands of Leeds men and women killed in wars takes place each November. And this is where the ABSA red bus is parked for this morning. ABSA, a member of Barclays. A very good morning to you and welcome to our show. Great to be in your company after last night's fantastic Rugby World Cup action, and of course it's Springbok Friday, so we're looking ahead to that all-important clash against Scotland at St James's Park tomorrow. We're going to be going into a little bit more detail in that a little bit later on, and there's so much fun, as I think you've come to expect from our Rugby World Cup update. First though, let's bring you the news. New Zealand have asked for the windows at their city centre hotel in Cardiff to be soundproofed. This after being kept awake on Saturday evening by boisterous Wales supporters. Various All Blacks have said this week that the performances in their opening two matches against Argentina and Namibia were below the level that they've set for themselves, and it was a message that was reinforced by their captain Richie McCaw. Finn Russell will miss Scotland's potentially decisive World Cup Pool B match against South Africa after failing to shake off an ankle knock. Head coach Vern Cotter, who has announced 10 changes in his team to face the Springboks in Newcastle tomorrow, will now put his faith in Russell's Glasgow teammate Duncan Weir as he seeks to win the win which could clinch Scotland a quarter-final slot. And then sports betting is massive in England. The Tab have been charting who punters think will win the World Cup based on the number of bets of the overall winner. The All Blacks peaked at 56% soon after the World Cup markets opened in July 2014. And only 28% of all pundits this week bet on the All Blacks to win the tournament, with 31% of them backing Australia. The Wallabies have that all-important clash against England coming this weekend. It's one that many around the world are looking forward to. And we heard that New Zealand team are soundproofing their windows. I don't quite think that the Welsh supporters were as loud and boisterous after yesterday's victory over Fiji. We'll bring you the results and fixtures in a short while. Let's check in, however, with what's happening at the Springbok camp. They enjoyed a rest day yesterday, but that doesn't mean that our TCC, our camp correspondent Simon Burke, took a break. Take a look.
Well, Scotland announced their squad to face South Africa in Newcastle on Saturday. And yes, both South Africans are in the team. The prop Vipia Null and Josh Strauss, the flanker. And that means line-out calls in the Springbok camp are going to be a problem, because if they're in Afrikaans, they're going to be red.
I think, we have Josh and Vipia in our training camp 3.5 years back. So they were part of the team. They did lineouts with the team. They got our manuals and everything. And a lot of the time we give calls in Afrikaans that most of the world don't understand. Now it's changed. So firstly we had to change our calling system just to make sure that they don't obviously remember something. And they're quite two clever guys, so they probably will remember. Most rugby players only remember 6 months back, but they're two clever guys. So we had to change all that, and also the calling system, and every now and then you can speak Afrikaans as well and give certain calls that people don't understand, but now South Africans is playing all over the world, so we have to change that. And it's quite difficult for the Afrikaans guys sometimes to speak English.
We're here at the Newcastle Falcons home ground, where later tonight there'll be a big rugby match against the Newcastle Falcons legends and the Southern Hemisphere legends. Now you must remember, Newcastle's always been a home to South Africans in rugby. Mark Andrews, Marius Herter and Obani Bobo all played here at one time. And perhaps that's a good sign come Saturday. I'm Simon Burke, bringing you the latest from the Springbok camp.
Well, thank you very much to Simon Burke. Welcome aboard the ABSA Red Bus. The results from yesterday: Wales beating Fiji 23-13 and France beating Canada 41-18. The Welsh, however, will be waiting with bated breath to see just how big the injury to Dan Biggar is. He walked off injured and he's currently the top point scorer in this tournament. Man of the match for France in that 5-try victory was Freddie Michalak. Some saying he's back to his best, and France now go top of Pool D. These are the fixtures that you can look forward to. New Zealand up against Georgia. That's the single match that takes place tonight. There's two that will be taking place tomorrow. Samoa going up against Japan at Milton Keynes, and then South Africa going up against Scotland. You'll be able to watch New Zealand up against Georgia from 8:30 to 11 on SABC 2. It's time now for us to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
Dudu had always been around boys from a very young age.
I've always been a girl who wants to intimidate boys. I want to do things that men can do. With education, it was the key. It was the first thing that I needed to do. I got an opportunity to go work overseas. I Kimberell as well, where she trained me on my vocal exercises and whatever. And I thought, this is your passion and this is what you need to do.
Join me, Pule Mulebati, on your show about those who take on and conquer life's challenges every Saturday at 5:30.
When bees and wasps sting a person, they inject a bitterness venom in their skins.
We have about 3 spider species in South Africa that we have to worry about. Button spiders, which include, the black widow spiders, your sac spiders, and your Vaylen spiders.
That venom is in your system, it's in your muscle tissue. And the more your heart beats, the faster your heart beats, the faster the blood is going to circulate, and consequently it's going to get that venom into your system faster.
If you see a snake like this, the best thing to do is to just stay away from it and contact somebody that specializes in removing venomous snakes.
Join me on Health Talk every Saturday morning between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. as we unpack current health stories.
Good. Point. Sit.
Get behind Rugby World Cup 2015 on SABC.
Welcome back as we broadcast to you live from Leeds in England aboard our ABSA Red Bus. ABSA, a member of Barclays. Now, ABSA Red Bus really has been doing a lot of mileage across England, and in each of the different towns and cities that we visit, we have wonderful experiences at different museums, and that's one thing that the English really do get right. Their museums and the way that they remember their history. One place, however, that has been a real treat for both Mac Messina and myself to go and visit was the Royal Armouries. It is the national holder of the arms and armouries here in England. They've got 8,500 objects. It was a fascinating experience.
The collection starts with Greek stuff. And then it's a worldwide international collection. So if you're interested in China, Japan, if you're interested in Africa, South, East, West, North, or the Americas, we have a collection here. And of course our own traditions are well represented from the beginning of knighthood in the 11th century all the way through to the end of the Tudors and Henry VIII and Elizabeth I. Sportsmen are usually very good at these sort of things, so good hand-eye coordination, good balance, a good focus. If you've got all those things, you've got half a chance. If you're missing any of those, you're dead. A big fighting sword. Often used actually for judicial duels or sporting contests, and the arena you're standing in now is an arena that would have been used in the 15th century to highlight the skills of the sporting prowess of the swordsman.
Are we teachable though?
As long as you've got insurance, You'll be fine. No, you'll be good. We'll look after you. No one has ever been injured on my watch, touch wood. So.
Well, I'm a heavy man and a big guy as well, and about 1.82 meters. And this suit is weighing about 35 kg. And Henry, the man, used to wear this. Who's Henry?
Henry VIII, one of our most famous kings, the zenith of the Tudor dynasty. So as England was expanding as a sort of a global brand, for want of a better word, Henry VIII was at the beginning of that, with the navies, with the armies, but also with armour like this and fashion and architecture. But he became famous and young in life as an incredible sportsman. He was fearless. Yes. He was England's champion wrestler. So if you imagine Prince Harry as the WWF champion, that's what Henry VIII was. The last thing he was is he was a fearless jouster. So jouster, you've got 2 stallion horses, 3/4 of a ton, coming towards each other, sort of about 40k each. So it's an impact of about 85 kilometres when they hit each other. Now Henry was famous that as a lance was driven towards his face, you've got a helmet on obviously, but he didn't blink. And very few, the greatest sportsmen, whether it be a tennis player, whether it be a rugby player, just about to go into the tackle, 99% of us blink or wince. The great ones never blink on that moment of impact. And Henry VIII apparently was one of these great ones.
Speaking about great sportsmen, in South Africa, one of our greatest footballers ever is Lucas Radebe, and he spent a decade of his life here at Leeds. So, being here in the city, we had to go and check out his former club, Leeds United, and the stadium that hosted 2 Rugby World Cup matches at Ellen Road. 10 minutes from the Leeds city centre, you'll find Ellen Road, which is home to Leeds United, a club that was formed back in 1919. And it's a club that's very proud of its history. And one man that's made history, they call him their greatest captain ever, Billy Bremner. And that was the statue that greeted us as we walked in from the southeast stand, Mike.
Yeah, the legend who was born in Scotland, international Scotland. Or looking at this place at Vaylen, there's so much history. And there's more history as well from the African players, because there's quite a few African players that played here, the likes of Tony Yeboah, but of course our own Lucas Radebe from DK Ekase Soweto. Wow.
You know, on this trip I have learned that Mac actually, not only being a great rugby player, but he's also quite a good footballer.
Let's go try this one and see if maybe we can make the team. How's that? Let's go down and see if we can make the team. Go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So I couldn't make Manchester United with my trip to the National Football Museum. I couldn't make Aston Villa. Maybe Mac will have better luck making Leeds United Football Club. This is the closest that we'll actually get to the pitch. Mac, go for it.
You won't make the team. Let's go, Billy. Nah. How did we do?
Well, judging by how Leeds played last weekend, I think you've got a good chance of getting a game on Saturday.
Oh, thanks.
I think you should be in the team.
And Vaylen, eh?
And absolutely, yeah.
Well, sport certainly is something that the people here in Leeds hold very dear to their hearts, and something that they're very, very proud of is the fact that the Grand Départ for the Tour de France in 2014 took place right here, just outside of the this war memorial and outside of the Henry Moore Institute. This is how we come to the end of our show. I say goodbye and I leave you with a little more insight on the Grand Départ for the Tour de France 2014. Goodbye, until tomorrow.
So we're at the spot of the Grand Départ for the 2014 Tour de France, which started in Leeds and then toured around a route for 3 days around Yorkshire. A really huge event with lots of visitors and local support. Over 3 million people lined the route to watch the Tour de France. Brought an economic impact into Yorkshire of over £102 million, so a real success. Really raised the profile of Leeds as a sporting city, with this year following with the Rugby World Cup, and next year we're also holding one of the international triathlon series, so really puts Leeds on the map as a key sporting city.
So this is the spot, 5th of July 2014, this is where the Tour de France left off.
Yeah.
We don't have any bikes though, Mac.
Yeah, that's definitely, we don't have bikes, yeah.
Okay, so I'll race you to that board up there to start the official Tour de France route, right?
The winner must buy lunch.
You got it.
Okay.
Are you on? Okay. Go!
Okay, so Mac, you know what I feel like for lunch? Rump steak.
As I said earlier on, the winner buys lunch. So who won?
I did, of course.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you go. I walked into that.
Thank you.